Good evening, and thank you, Senator Klobuchar, for that lovely introduction. I'd like to thank the Arab American Institute Foundation for honoring the ARC with this prestigious award this evening. For the ARC to be among the winners, not only tonight, but of the past years, is really quite humbling. Amnesty International, Habitat for Humanity, the Children's Defense Fund, Southern Poverty Law Center, just a few of the remarkable winners of this award. And it really is a privilege to be in such company. When we were first notified by the Arab American Institute Foundation that we were this year's recipient for the Award for Institutional Excellence, I immediately thought about our shared value, our core value of inclusion, which influences everything our organizations do. Disability doesn't discriminate on the basis of race or religion or ethnicity or country of origin or gender or socioeconomic status. And true inclusion reaches into every aspect of our lives, from education to employment to healthcare to access to justice, even to the media. I look at the honorees tonight and see what we all share. As Khalil Gibran once said, "You give but little when you give of your possessions. It's when you give of yourself that you truly give." And that is a concept that really has driven the ARC for nearly 70 years. It's too easy to fall into the trap of cynicism and focus on what divides us when there really is much more that unites us. What is so powerful about this event is how all the honorees embody that simple sentiment. It is when you give of yourself that you truly give. One area that you might not immediately associate with the ARC's work is immigration. We know that diversity is what makes our country great, and we are very much aligned with the Arab American community when it comes to continuing our nation's tradition of welcoming diverse peoples into our country. Like so many Americans, disability rights advocates have grave concerns about ongoing efforts to restrict immigration. Threats to immigration are threats to all of our civil rights. We share the fear of the Arab Americans when a draft executive order was leaked early this year that would have directly impacted people with intellectual and developmental disabilities who are legally residing in our country, as well as individuals hoping to legally immigrate. At the ARC, we believe that people should have a fair opportunity to legally enter and reside in the United States and become a citizen without restrictions based on disability. And this includes those needing protection as refugees, asylees, and victims of human trafficking. If a family is otherwise eligible to enter and remain in our country, they shouldn't be turned away or turned out because their child or another family member has a disability, because of where they come from, or because of their potential need for support. This is an area where we at the ARC will continue our advocacy and hope to collaborate with the Arab American community to protect immigration rights for all of our communities, regardless of disability, race, religion, or other diverse characteristics. To know the ARC's mission to protect and promote the human rights of people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, you need to meet and get to know some of the individuals that are leading our movement. Self-advocates and parents and siblings and other family members of people with disabilities, they are inspiring change throughout our country. One of those self-advocates I'm pleased to have with me as my guest this evening, Frank Stevens. Frank is one of the strongest self-advocates we have, and he's been involved with the ARC of Northern Virginia for nearly 15 years, and he's a powerhouse, active in public policy. He's actually a bit of a celebrity at the State House in Virginia. If any of you watch the television show Born This Way, A&E's hit docuseries about the lives of 7 people with Down syndrome, you might even recognize him from an episode or two. He's charismatic, passionate, and kind, but don't let his charm fool you. Frank won't back down when it comes to the civil rights that he knows that he and his peers with disabilities deserve. And I hope you have a chance to meet him during the course of the evening. Far too often, our society underestimates the abilities of people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. At the ARC, we really strive to flip the script and work with advocates like Frank who empower themselves and make a difference in their communities in so many ways, including helping to lead our chapters across the country. It's by amplifying the voices of individuals with disabilities and their families that we have been able to accomplish so much over the nearly 70 years the ARC's been in existence. The ARC doesn't advocate on behalf of people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. We advocate alongside them, and they are the lifeblood of our movement. In closing, I want to reiterate what a great honor it is to be here accepting this award on behalf of the ARC's chapters and our members across the United States. We need allies like the other organizations that have been recognized by the Arab American Institute Foundation over the years. We need allies like all of you who are here this evening to create a more inclusive and accepting society. We thank the Arab American Institute Foundation for bringing us all together for this celebration tonight, and look forward to a lasting relationship between our organizations as we collectively pursue inclusion for all. As a powerful self-advocate in our movement, Adonis Reddick, who we lost last year, was known to say, "Together, we can make anything happen." Thank you.